soundbite.
You always do them wrong.
I do the soundbite correct every time.
I got here, and they all said, we have a great crowd. We don't have time for the national anthem. I said, yes, we do. We have time for the national anthem, right? And we have a young lady that is going to sing, and I said, what are you doing? She said, well, I was supposed to sing, but they had time because of the television cameras. They couldn't do it. I said, guess what? We're going to do the national anthem, okay? So, Sherry Wilkins, come up. Sherry, come on, Sherry.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Smith Radio. Your host, Brian Smith, along with
Carrie Smith.
giving you all the late-breaking news, the details of the past week, telling you about everything that you missed over the weekend, because that's where the news likes to hide stories that the American people need to hear about, wrapping it all up, making sense of it all, and explaining it to you in a very simple way, as well as using a lot of humor, because when it comes to politics, if you're not laughing about it, you're a Democrat.
Yeah, that's true. They have zero sense of humor at all times.
So, and I'm not trying to make this black and white thing, and I'm not going to preempt it and start off the show like that. However, one of the pundits out there were saying that, and I think I played a soundbite last week. He said it's not he said it's not about stop calling me black, and I'll stop calling you white. And then we have the race issues all over with.
Morgan Freeman.
Right.
He said that a couple years ago. We went over that in the last episode. And so introduce the show. What is the date today?
Oh, today is May 28th. We are 2 days early from 2016, from Memorial Day. This is our Memorial Day special. I'll give a shout out to all the veterans and all the remembering all the heroes that died in order to make this country free and to continue to fight tyranny everywhere it rears its ugly head up. And this week, on Friday, its ugly head has been reared.
Again.
You remember how Obama, when he first was elected president, he did his apology tour?
Yes, I do, unfortunately. So embarrassing.
Round the world apology tour. Well, this Friday, just to start the Memorial Day weekend. Everybody's going on holiday. Everybody's off on Monday. Everybody's the biggest camping weekend of the year. But this
It's spring. Everybody wants to get out. They got a little bit of that cabin fever.
right. So Breitbart posted this article by Joel Pollack. Congress must censure Obama over Hiroshima's speech.
Ooh, that's a good response.
And just to let you know what censure means in this sense, dealing with the president, Wikipedia has a little blurb about it. It's in the United States.
And by Wikipedia, we mean some guy that is in his underwear in his basement, like, I'll put my 2 cents in. That's what that really means. But anyway, go ahead.
No, Mom! I'm going to write this article first. I'll be up in a minute. So, in the United States, governmental censure is done when a body's members wish to publicly reprimand the President of the United States, a member of Congress, or a judge. It is a formal statement of disapproval. So
anytime you're upset with a member of your body, you gotta
or
censure
of
it.
The body could be yours or
A body.
right?
The body that you're in charge of censoring.
Correct. So Pollack goes on to write, President Barack Obama told the world on Friday in Hiroshima that the American decision to drop the nuclear bombs on Japan in 1945 arose from humanity's worst instincts, including nationalist fever or religious zeal. Religious zeal.
What fantasy fiction are we talking about here? Is there any knowledge of World War II whatsoever?
The war that ended in Hiroshima and Nagasaki grew out of the same basic instinct for domination or conquest that had caused conflicts among the simplest tribes. An old patron
Who's
amplified
by
by new capabilities and without new constraints.
Who said this?
Well, I did it in like a really Stallone masculine voice, but Pajama Boy Obama said this.
Are you kidding me?
I am no lie.
This is not even remotely reflective of anything that
No, I know lie.
reality has not reared its ugly head at all in this show yet.
Liar.
Thank you for that.
Yes. No, not at all. Not at all. And you're like, really?
What is he talking about?
Really?
He must have read some action fiction or watched some movie or something that has nothing to do with any true story.
Completely detached from all reality.
What tribes is he talking about? He said tribal something, or what was that? What is he talking about?
It grew.
And whose conquest are we talking about?
It grew out of the same basic instinct for domination or conquest that had caused conflicts among the simplest of tribes.
Oh, he was calling because there
Right.
was war during World War II. He's saying we are no longer civilized. We're down to tribal savagery level here.
Yes, apparently. But however, our tribal savagery has new capabilities.
That we don't have any restraint.
We have no new restraints. We have the same old restraints of no restraint.
They made it sound like we couldn't wait to use this nuke. The thing is we couldn't wait for the war to end. And Japan
Right.
had made the decision to make sure that it was known very well that they weren't going to give up and that they were going to have to, that we were going to have to kill each and every single one of them for them to finally surrender.
Right. So put your seatbelt on. Here he goes again. He says, why do we come to this place, to Hiroshima? We come to ponder a terrible force unleashed in a not-so-distant past. We come to mourn the dead, including over 100,000 Japanese men, women, and children, thousands of Koreans, and a dozen Americans held prisoner. Their souls to speak to us. They ask us to look inward to take stock of who we are and what we might become. We must change our mindset about war itself. We must reimagine our connection to one another as members of the human race.
Why is he talking like this happened a couple of weeks ago?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What is that?
I don't know.
That is absolutely insane. And the fact that he did this on Memorial Day weekend clearly was not a coincidence.
No, censure is in order. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Censure. I didn't listen to the speech because I was told that there was no apology.
The White House informed the news outlet that this will not be an apologetic speech at all.
The Japanese government said no apology is needed. We don't want no apology. Sounds like, I mean, without saying we're sorry. It sounds like his version of saying sorry without actually saying it, which is just as bad.
Right.
They should be thanking us for saving their country.
Well, you would think. So here's what Joel then commented in his article. He wrote back. He said, Obama, a native of Honolulu.
He's a naive of
Honolulu, who grew up near Pearl Harbor, said nothing about the fact that Japan started the war. Nothing about the fact that the Japanese were responsible for the slaughter of millions of civilians throughout Asia and the Pacific. Nothing about the fact that the Japanese refused to surrender after hundreds of thousands had already been killed in conventional bombing. There's really only one response to Obama's gesture, and it goes beyond media and moral condemnation. It must be made clear that at Hiroshima, Obama represented no one but himself.
Exactly.
Not the greatest generation who fought the war, and not the generations of Americans who grew up enjoying the freedom that victory over Japan secured.
That you cannot say it any better than that.
My grandfather fought in the war.
If you are a Generation Xer, you had a grandpa that fought in the war.
On somebody's side. So on my mother's side,
when we were little kids, there was nobody over the age of 50 or so that didn't serve. Every male. And then most of the females may have had some sort of a role.
Right. Whether it be here, back in
maybe
in
I'm
States.
overstating that a little bit because, a lot of them were just tending to the homestead or whatever. But
you had a lot of them working the Ford plant, Chrysler plant, the GM plant. Chrysler made tanks for France. For France.
Oh, Chris.
And Ford made them for America.
Oh, that makes so much sense. No, nothing American was being produced for France. I'll tell you that.
No, France was actually being coddled on an island, waiting for the war to end. That island, the British Isles.
Okay.
They ran to the coast and screamed as loud as they could, "Help!" And Great Britain ran over with boats and brought them to Great Britain.
That's sad.
Waiting for the war to end. But no, I mean, everybody knew of somebody, and I try and tell my children about this now. They never had the chance to meet our grandparents, either one of them.
Yeah, it was interesting growing up. I mean, everybody. And I'll never forget this, too. Right before or shortly before my wife's grandmother died. Of course, she is a widow of a World War II.
So he died in the war?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. She was a widow because he was dead.
Oh, but he
didn't die in the war. Okay. But she said every man standing on his 2 feet served in the war.
Wow.
I mean, you had to be crippled.
Right. My grandfather, at a very young age, was put into an orphanage. Back in the day when they had the.
Oh yeah, back when they had those.
Right. The church.
Now they just have Planned Parenthood. You don't need that orphanage.
Well, I mean, there's some truth to that. So,
yeah.
But the nuns would tend to the children, and it was whether they got government assistance or not is probably true, but it was a church-affiliated, Catholic-affiliated.
It probably didn't.
Building.
There was a lot of people that actually tithed and donated and
Because
whatever.
we're talking all the way back when